Today, I am here back at the park where we started it all to talk about controlling the light a little better outside. I've been waiting for it to be a really sunny day, and today seems to be that. I wish I had some clouds in the sky, but unfortunately, it's just solid blue pretty much, but we'll deal with that. I want to talk about how to get a filter on your camera, and what I have is this filter right here, or this filter holder, I should say. This is from a company called Moment. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a 68 millimeter thread. I'm going to show you sort of at the end of the video when we get back home. I'll show you how this fits on your camera. But I want to talk about two different filters today. One is what they call a variable neutral density filter. And you'll see it's kind of dark. It's got a little ring on it, and that ring goes, let's see if I can put this up here where this goes from 2 and it will go around to 5. So the higher the number, the darker the ring will get. And it will just sort of knock down the sunlight just a little bit. And then I also have what they call a circular polarizer. It's also a 68 millimeter thread, if I'm not mistaken, 67 millimeter. They're 67 millimeter threads. So again, it has little threads on it, and it just circles around unendingly to refract the light, much like your polarized sunglasses do. You know how you put your sunglasses on if they're polarized and suddenly the sky looks more blue, colors seem to be more vibrant. This little filter right here can do that, and I use this a lot, especially when I'm out taking photos with my Canon, and I'm taking photos of water. You can use this to knock down the glare on the water and actually make the water see-through where you can see the bottom. So the circular polarizer is a really, really necessary piece of equipment. And if I had to choose, I don't know which one I'd choose to go with first, but the nice thing about it is they do screw into one another so that you can put both of them on your mount at the same time, get the circular polarizer working, and then adjust how much light you're letting into your camera. This is one of the difficulties with using the iPhone camera app, is that if you touch a place to focus, you'll see a little yellow box come up. And if you run your finger up and down next to that box, you can control the light a little bit, but you're not going to control it like you can with a neutral density filter. So because you have so little control over the iPhone app itself, or even, if you're using a Droid, same thing, it helps sometimes to be able to use something with it. So I've got both a really bright sky and some water here at the park. We're going to start with a circular polarizer and show you what that looks like. And then we will add the neutral density filter and show you what that looks like as well. And then when I get back home and I'm doing the ending of this video, I'll show you how all this fits on the camera with that little toy camera that I have, or on the phone rather. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to come out here. First of all, I've got the polarizer on, and I'm just going to turn it around to show you sort of what it does with the sky. This polarizer may not do a whole lot. You can barely see this getting a little bit darker up here in the upper left-hand corner. A little bit darker. There we go. If I get the clouds in it, you can see I've got really white clouds. Then I can kind of knock the clouds down a little bit. And that's what the polarizer is doing. Now let's move over here to the water. So I've got this little bit of water running here, and you can see this big bright spot here in the water. And this is typically what you get when you're doing just the phone itself. But if I just turn the polarizer around a little bit, you'll see that it takes a lot of that out and really makes everything look so much nicer in the frame. All right, so now I have the neutral density filter, the variable neutral density filter on. You can see the skies up here. Now, the thing about the iPhone is that it's still going to adjust itself automatically. But if I turn this from 2 to 5, you can see the sun or the sky gets a lot darker. I'll turn it back. This is 2. And the camera sort of adjusts itself to level everything out. So the more you knock the sun down, the better the video will be as the camera tries to adjust. I know that's hard to explain because you're seeing the camera adjust itself in real time. But as things really get bright, things get blown out. And so if you can darken it down, then when the camera adjusts itself, that blown out space doesn't show up as badly. So I'm going to now go over and show you what it looks like on the water with just the neutral density filter. And then we'll look at both of them piled on together to see what that does. All right, again, I've got the neutral density filter set to 2, and you'll see how it knocks the sun down as I turn it just a little bit. But then let's see what it does with the polarizer on as well. Okay, so you can see I've got the polarizer sort of turned down, and then if I adjust the neutral density filter as well, I think I've got that on 5 now, the camera doesn't have to work as hard to show me everything in the video. Now, it's not going to get rid of these things don't work as well on the camera, the phone camera, as they do on a regular camera. They just don't, but they do help, and they do make things easier to video and knock down a lot of the glare. I'm going to turn the camera around toward me so you can kind of see how that looks. Now, because that camera, the screen is turned away from me, I have no idea what I look like in the frame. But I have the polarizer turned a little bit, and I have the neutral density filter turned to 5. So I'm going to then also film myself here with nothing on the camera at all. I've got the sun over here to my right, so it's really shining bright on this side of my face. Now let's see what it looks like when I take everything off. And now this is video again with nothing on the camera to kind of show you how the brightness of the sun on my face can be affected by the neutral density filter and can make things just that much easier to clean up when you get ready to edit, and a lot easier for the camera to operate because it's not having to fight against all of that blown out area.
Well, if I had this video to do again, I would have done it a little closer to sunset, because the neutral density filter that I have, the variable neutral density filter, is a 2 to 5 filter. I was out in the middle of the hottest part of the sunrise of the day, and early afternoon, very, very bright. I really needed a 6 to 10 ND filter to get darker. It would have been more dramatic in the video. You could see a little bit of what it was doing, but you would have seen it better had it not been quite as bright as it was. I did say in the video that I would show you how this worked, and so I have my phone and my filter holder. Now, this comes from a company called Moment, and I'll put a link to their website in the description, but I'm not going to link the specific things that I'm using because it may not work for you. If you have a case on your phone, they have cases and ways to put the lens on with a case. I gave up the case a long time ago. So on the selfie side of the camera, the camera is, or phone rather, the camera is right here. This won't cover that. It only works on the backside cameras. And the way that this works is it just fits over the cameras like this and screws on. And you need to do it over the top. If you do it from the side, it covers up all the icons on the screen and you can't actually start your video. So it basically looks like this when you're done. And it's just got a set of 67 millimeter screws. So any 67 millimeter filter is going to fit. And it just screws on like this. And this is the variable neutral density filter. It's really hard for me to say. I don't know why. And it just adjusts. Very simply, it adjusts. Same thing for the circular polarizer. Just screws on, and then, but this goes round and round and round and round. You know, you just choose the spot you want. That's how they work. And again, I'll put the link in the description where you can go look at them for yourself if you're so inclined. And the reason I brought this up now is because moving forward, I will probably use these from time to time when I'm outside, especially the variable neutral density filter, to get a better lighting in the areas where I'm going to run the risk of having, highlights blown out. So anyway, that's the video for today. And if you have any questions or if you've used something like this, feel free to put that in the comments below. Obviously, this is not an in-depth tutorial. There's a lot of stuff I haven't talked about. But other than that, that's it, and we will see you tomorrow.